morning, everybody. We are back live on PM and the AM show. Guys, you're looking at me like, what's up with those insane glasses? Well, listen, I am
That's
back.
the least of things we're worried about with you.
Listen, I am back on the wagon. If you saw me earlier this morning, I was on the attacking third with my man, Steve Fernandez. But yeah, I am back on full wagon. This Eagles team has shown me a lot, but we will do some Eagles talk a little later in the program.
Hold on 1 second before you go any further. I need two things I need to know. What was your prediction for this game last week? Mike,
I said 14-17 Birds.
Okay.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I said 17-14 Birds. Take a look at the paperwork. It's right down there. I remember what I said. I'm not that dumb. Well.
First of all, that's debatable. Good morning, no Pat.
Good morning.
And Pat, can you do me one thing?
What's up?
Can you pronounce the word program for me?
Sure, program.
Can you pronounce the word Montreal for me?
Sure, Montreal.
All right.
In Colorado.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, let's let's get right into it. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning, baby.
The Phillies, Mike, up until yesterday, been on a tear. 6-game winning streak. You know, they won 5 out of 6 series. They looked really, really good. I mean, I'm liking what I seen. Like I said yesterday.
What's up, Joe?
What's up, Joey? What's up, buddy?
Football season, yes. We're going to get into that.
Yeah. But yeah.
But
Nola gives up 9 hits. He only had 5 Ks, 2 walks, 2 homers. Is he the make it or break it with this Phillies team? I
just think what's up, Kayla?
What's up, Kayla?
Program. Yeah, you know what? I'm not worried yet. I think if we get another start like that, he looked flat yesterday.
Yeah,
he really did. And you know what? You got to tip your cap to the Marlins. They took advantage of it.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm starting to like what I'm seeing from this offense, though. And I'm talking about the bottom of the lineup. Johan Rojas was my player of the game Friday night. All right. This kid has been coming around. He's been playing really good ball. Bryson Stott's starting to hit the ball now. As you alluded to when we were going over our pre-show, what points we were going to talk about.
We were eating sandwiches, just coffee.
Well, yeah, we were. We
were stuffing our faces.
We were stuffing our face while Pat was attacking the third. That's why, if you take a look towards the end of that show, he couldn't get off that show any quick because he was smelling the food. But I'm liking where it's going, and the fact of the matter is this too. If you look at it, the Phillies haven't really been using their top guys in the bullpen in this series. If you look at it, they really haven't. You know, Zach Wheeler gave him a nice, strong outing. You know, they didn't have to use guys like Strom and, like that game the other night. That 16-2 game was probably the best thing that could have happened for the Phillies because, Zach Wheeler got his work and he got 6 innings in. And then you're looking at it, they didn't have to use their top-tier guys in the bullpen. They didn't have to use Esteves. They didn't have to use Strom. They didn't have to use Hoffman. So, and then again, yesterday, they didn't have to use those guys. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's just, I would prefer not to see Taijuan Walker appear in any situation because, I'm sorry, like, this is your last hurrah with this. And if I'm the Phillies, dude, I'm eating that contract next year. Eat it and just, DFA him. Let him go get money elsewhere.
They won't because you know why? This is what they're going to do. At the very least, and I keep telling people this is the money thing. This is the...
Yeah, but sooner or later...
This is the J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. This is the...
Nah, listen, sometimes you got to learn to cut your losses.
Sometimes you do, and I don't think guys will.
I think they will. I don't think he's going to be back.
I never want to see Taijuan Walker pitch again. To one pitch. I said it last night. Never want to see it.
Well, listen.
But what's going to happen is he's under contract. Unless somebody's willing to eat some of that contract... They're not going to do it.
But that contract, he signed what, a 4-year deal?
He's got another $36 million on it. Yeah.
So but
my point is, but what I'm saying is, what they're going to, the very least, they're going to do. He's going to be at camp next year,
right?
If they can't unload him between now and then, he's going to be at camp. They're going to see if they can recoup him again. Just try to see what they can do with him. And if they can't, then he'll have another. He'll have a phantom injury. It'll be like what's his face in the Eagles?
Devin White.
No.
Isaiah Rodgers.
No, the cornerback.
Isaiah Rodgers.
Oh, the other one. I'm completely blanking on his name. You know what I'm talking about.
No, so to me,
Bradbury.
Bradbury, yes. Thank you. I just completely blanked.
So to me, and I get it, moving him to the bullpen obviously is because of the issues. But now, to me, it's more going to hurt the Phillies. Say you're in a tight ball game and you bring him out on the hill, he's going to cost you games. And I don't
think they're going to put him
in those kind of situations.
I don't think they're going to. He said, "Steve,
what's up,
Steve,
buddy?"
Checking in says Walker is the starter version of Joris Familia.
Yeah,
he is
pretty much.
And listen, then this is a point you got to look at it. They cut Familia free. They said, "Go, get out of here."
Yeah,
but they ate his contract too.
Yeah, but his contract wasn't $36 million either. Remember that.
Yeah, but you also got to realize too, Al. Sooner or later, if you can't start,
I'm not.
Listen,
no,
you
I'm not
have your heart.
disagreeing.
I know you're not disagreeing with me, but you're saying that
I'm looking at it from the business standpoint of things.
Guess what? I'm looking at it from the business standpoint too. Sometimes you got to eat it.
Him coming out deflates this team.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Give him a phantom injury and let him just go ride the pine.
Just like 2 years ago in the World Series or the playoffs, we didn't see Taijuan Walker at all. Remember, people were asking like,
and honestly,
"Hey,
I think that's what destroyed him." I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, not saying that was their fault, but I think
can you put this on Topper's fault a little bit yesterday? Because hear me out.
No, you put him in there because they were getting.
Yeah, but see if you could save this game. We're going to give you our worst pitcher here and try and work on your confidence this way. Like,
Pat, what other scenario do you want Taijuan Walker in there? They were getting shellacked.
Oh, I know.
That's the time you put Taijuan Walker in there.
If
he's able to hold them off, then your offense can bail you out. Like,
he currently is not a major league pitcher.
No, I agree with you.
I don't know if he's barely a minor league pitcher at this point. And I don't know. It seems like a combination of his velocity isn't working, then his brain's not working. If his brain's barely working, then his velocity and control's not there. It's
something with him.
He feels like that's my sex life.
Well,
Jesus God.
And that's why he wears the glasses.
Lord forgive me.
Yeah, but no,
how can
seriously.
you see with them things on?
Oh, dude, these are awesome. These are awesome. I recommend everyone.
Are they your kids?
No,
did you steal Angelo's sunglasses?
No, what do you think? These are Ninja Turtles? No, these are the Kelly Green Bird ones. But I do want to get into.
Oh my God, yeah, they are. I'm just looking at that. Yeah, you got those.
Yeah, I got birds all over my eye.
Listen,
bird for a bird brain.
And Steve's saying Nebraska will continue to try to maximize Walker's value as long as they're 6 games ahead. Yeah, and that's exactly what they did. And they almost kind of doing the same thing with Alvarado. Alvarado was in there the night before when they were up. They put in Walker when they were down. So, because here's the thing is you can keep going down. You can't lose any more than losing by 1 run or 4,000 runs. It doesn't make a difference.
Right.
So they're like, well, what's the difference now? That was when you see Taijuan Walker they have to be up by like 15 runs or more, or they're conceding a loss. That's pretty much what Taijuan Walker is at this point.
Right.
But Dombrowski is doing the same thing as they're doing with Bradbury and the Eagles. They're not going to throw him away because then it looks like they made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the human nature of it, and they know they're not going to get anything for it. So like, if we're going to pay him, $36 million, we might as well just keep trying to see if we can squeeze some juice out of this. But all you're getting is the dirty rag juice, not anything that's worthwhile.
Well, Pat, listen, this Phillies team's got a pretty big schedule upcoming this week.
Frank, you feeling at home already with the Patty B comments?
Frankie, this is just the tip of the iceberg. By the way, welcome to the EOP family. But looking ahead, Pat, today, one reason I'm going to be watching, I'm going to actually have this game. It's NFL Sunday, so everybody's going to be, the Eagles are off. We get a stress-free Sunday. Dave Ennis, with this offense of the Phils, the game was still within reach prior to Walker coming in. Bad move by Topper.
Yeah. So I listen.
That's what I was trying.
We have to we got to change our way of thinking. I'm not saying it's a good way or a bad way, but you got to change your way of thinking a little bit in this situation. They're playing smarter now. They're not they want to win. Don't get me wrong, but they're not. The wins aren't as important right now at this point for them. Okay. For instance, Wheeler could have maybe won another inning, right?
Right.
The other night.
Yeah.
They're not going to put him in there. They're going to give him, like Mike said, they're going to give him his work. You're going to get his 80 to 90 pitches in there. And then that's good. That way he's not going to get fatigued in the playoffs if he has to go 6 or 7 innings. But the same thing here is they're not going to push the envelope when when the team's down for one loss in a 4-game series when they already won 2 of them.
Right. Now, here's the thing that me personally, this is where I'm worried about the Phillies. Bohm went to the DL. How soon before he gets back? I think, would he go on the 10-day DL?
Who?
Bohm.
Yes. Retro to September 3rd.
Okay, so then he's getting close to coming off. Now, the other injury to me is this injury with JT. This injury with him fouling that ball off his knee the other night. Like, is he headed now to the DL? I mean, they just brought the other kid up from Lehigh Valley, not Marshawn. Marshawn's actually injured. They brought. Yeah, he's probably starting today because he's going to catch Seth Johnson.
I know, because I'm looking at his stats and I just want to double check if I had it right. But you brought up about Wheeler, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about the bads of Walker, but the goods though you do have with Wheeler, and I got to ask you. I mean, he had 7 Ks on Friday. Had his last 15 games, he has 99 Ks. Is this dude unreal or what? Is he unreal?
Yeah,
Zach Wheeler.
I'll tell you what, Zach Wheeler is reaching. I don't know, Al, if you'll agree with me on this, but as far as Phillies lore, like he's reaching Doc status.
Oh yeah,
in my eyes.
Well, here's my thing: is I think Doc, Doc was Doc before he got here,
right?
And Wheeler,
exactly.
Wheeler was good.
He was good.
Wheeler was good, but he wasn't Doc Holliday.
Right.
We only had a couple of years with Doc Holliday.
Right, and Doc never even made it to the World Series. Zach's already pitched in a World Series.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're going to go by that, and you can kind of delete the fact what Doc was before he got here, you probably have no problem arguing those facts. Just to give you a heads up, I just was pulling up here on Phillies Nation. They noted that he's got a sore knee, left knee, a bruise from taking the ball off the knee on September 6th. On Saturday, he did tell the reporters that he was dealing with some swelling in his left knee. He'll need a quote-unquote couple of days. So he's definitely not going to probably be in there today.
Well, he wasn't in there yesterday. He not going to be in there today.
They say also reported the club doesn't see Realmuto landing on the injured list, but they also said that about Bohm.
Too.
So, and don't forget they're also worried about Harper with the arm. He says it's getting worse. And now I'm seeing a couple of games now. Opposing pitchers are thrown at it.
I mean, you got Bohm on the 10-day. Well, listen, actually, he got hit on the opposite arm last time.
I thought it was on that same arm.
No, it was the opposite. Arm. It was the opposite arm.
Well, regardless, they're targeting him. And speaking about, like you said, we talked about.
No, you're playing. You forget you're pitching against guys, the Miami Marlins right now, and for all those Marlins fans that are tuning in right now, I'm sure.
What, about 3 of them?
About 3 of them.
It's about all there is. But how do you put this? They're a bad team. They're a really bad team. They're a bunch of DFA guys that they brought in just to slap a roster together for the rest of the year.
Hold on, I'm not going to say that because they do got some young pieces.
They do, but the rest of them isn't. I mean,
if you were talking about it yesterday on the game,
they made like 9 or 10 or 11 different roster moves yesterday alone.
It's just amazing how they went from I thought an up and coming playoff team to where the
well, their pitching derailed them this year. They're pitching like
they're right.
Their 2 best pitchers are on the DL and been out all year. So, I mean, that right there. You just take Wheeler and Noah off of this team, and then tell me how far you think the Phillies are going to go.
True.
You know,
good point, Mike. And like I said, so when you look at this team, like I said, other than yesterday, and speaking of even yesterday, it was a loss. How about Stubbs just being a warrior? I mean, he turned a bunt into a triple, and not only that, he gets hit in the back of the head with a baseball. I mean, unreal.
Not going to push the envelope. So
he's coming at me. Listen,
so have the Phillies clinched anything yet?
I swear to God, I swear to God, this man.
He must hear your voice.
No, the alarm clock. No. This man must hear what he wants to hear. Did I say that they won, that they locked up the playoffs yet?
I don't know.
No.
All
I said was that's the way they're going to handle it. Am I saying it's the right way? No. Am I saying no? But that's the way. They've kind of been in this mode for a while, and that's what they're doing. They are going to protect their guys. They saw guys get fatigued in 2022 and lose their arm strength in the World Series. They saw guys get fatigued in the NLCS swinging the bat. Right?
Right.
So this is what they're doing. They are in cruise mode. Is it right? I'm not saying that. But I'm saying is this man here, and I'm talking about Matty B.
The mayor.
Hey, you put he tells me I got red glasses or green glasses, depending on what team we're talking about. Well, he has negativity glasses because that's where he goes right away when he's listening.
If you would listen to him a month ago, we were on the Titanic. I told everybody to relax. And by the way, yeah, Pat, you're going to give me my damn kudos because I told you to relax. They will be fine. They will righten this ship. And what happened? They went from being almost in, the third place, number 3 division, that they're right back on top. They're on top of the National League, and they're right there to be back in Major League Baseball's best. And they're not.
I'm not going to give you squat. You want to know why?
Why?
Because they're other than the Braves, who they beating? They're beating on the Marlins.
Dude, they got to play who they're playing. Again, they have a winning record against teams with 500 or above more.
They beat
hold on. We got to stop this. We have to stop this right now.
Yeah, because they're playing the Marlins. So what? They beat the hell out of the Braves.
I'm more impressive with the Mets. They beat up the Diamondbacks.
Of course you are. And excuse me, did I not sit here about 3 weeks ago and say the Mets are going to get the final wild card? Yeah, I told you they were going to overtake the Braves. They're playing better baseball.
Yes, they are. They're playing.
But do you think this Mets team's going to come and take? We got 7 with them.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're going to take? They're going to catch the Phillies?
Out of 7, what do you think the record will be? The Phillies
against
Mets.
It could be 6.
It could be anything. But
six out of 7.
You're thinking the Mets are going to take 6 out of 7 from the Phillies?
Oh yeah, they can.
Oh, you want to put a bet on that?
No, but I'm just telling you.
No. You want to put a gobbler sandwich.
Oh, now we're talking. Give me all
a gobbler sandwich.
Yeah, we'll have to do a little gobbler sandwich.
There you go. All right, we're on. Al, you heard him.
I heard him.
Now listen, I'm just the way they're playing baseball. We couldn't take care of the Orioles. They did. We couldn't take care of the Diamondbacks. They're playing good baseball. They're getting hot at the right time, and you better look out for them.
Okay, but they've taken care of they've taken care of Los Angeles. They've taken care of San Diego. They've taken care of who else in Milwaukee. I mean, these are all teams, Pat, that are in playoff contention.
Top 3 teams. You just named the top 3 teams.
Top 3 teams in baseball. They're 5-1 against They're 5-1 against the Dodgers. They're 5-1 against San Diego, and they're 3-0 against Milwaukee.
But hold on, and let me push back on this a little bit. If they played San Diego today, this month, it'd be a lot harder than when they played them last month. This is what baseball is. Teams are in funks. Like, teams beat the Phillies. Are they ready to go? I mean, are the Athletics ready to go hit the playoffs right now because they beat the Phillies? No, that doesn't mean anything.
Now, look, I'm gonna give you 3 teams that beat the Phillies, and they've had subpar months. I mean, the Yankees, they've been playing really good ball up until late. They have, I'm trying to think who else. The Orioles. The Orioles have been up and down more than an elevator.
Yes.
Over this time. Yes. The Guardians have been up and down more than an elevator. The Minnesota Twins. These are all teams that took 2 out of 3 or more from the Phillies. They've been up and down. So, again, you're looking at this going, oh, well, they didn't beat this team. They didn't beat that team. But guess what? There's other teams that they did beat and that they did dominate on. Yeah, so, I mean, Pat, you can't. It's the ebb and flows of baseball. I kept telling you this. I kept saying they will right the ship. And you're going, well, they didn't beat this team, but they're winning. They're like 15 games over 500 against teams with 500 records or better.
And I said that. I said they are. I mean, right now.
So that means they're beating good teams.
Yes, they are.
Let me ask you this question: say the Athletics swept the Yankees, the Orioles, the Guardians, the Royals,
and the Twins. But then they
turn around and they won 60 games all year long by sweeping all those teams. Are they a good team?
No,
they're up and coming. It just proves that they're going to be.
No, it just proves they caught those teams at the right time. That's all. In baseball, you catch a team at the right time. Phillies the last 2 years in the postseason, they caught the Braves at the right time. The Phillies were still playing.
So you have no fear going against this Mets team?
No, I don't.
How do you not have a fear going against this Mets team?
Because I
feel 9-game winning streak.
Because I feel
fearful, but
the hottest streak in baseball right now.
I don't fear the Mets because
you
know why?
Respect your opponent, though.
I do. I think the Mets have a good team, but I don't think their team's better than the Phillies. On papers, they're not better than them.
They have a good surging team right now, but they don't have a great team right now.
And out of these 7 games, I think the Phillies are going to win at least 4 of them. I think they're going to go.
Look, I hope you're right, but I just can't see it. I mean, the way sometimes they get lucky at bats. The way Cassie hits the ball, again, aggressively going after their first pitches. And listen, Stott's been hitting the ball better. And again, second deck home run. He's had 7 hits in this series. But again, this is against the Marlins. Rojas has looked great against the Marlins. That's great.
Hold on.
Everybody's going to play against the Marlins.
Here's who the Mets played since August 2nd. Ready? Okay. They played the Angels. They played 1 game against the Cardinals. I guess that was a makeup game. Mm-hmm. They played the Rockies. They played the Mariners. They played the Athletics. They played Miami. They played San Diego and Baltimore. They played the Diamondbacks. They played the White Sox. Mm-hmm. They played the Red Sox. Mm-hmm. And they are currently in the midst of playing the Reds. So out of all those teams that they played,
there's 2 contenders. That's it.
I'm just saying, you just said the Mets are an up and coming team. So
yes.
Pat, you do realize
they're on fire right now.
Pat, you do realize the Phillies are 4-2 against the Mets this year. You do realize that, right?
And that was at the beginning of the year. It's a whole different ball game now.
How? How is it?
Because
the Mets didn't do any major upgrades to their team.
No, they didn't. They're getting hot. They are getting hot. P. Alonso is going to be
a tough are they hot right now?
So
sure.
The lineup is carrying them. Is the bottom of the lineup going to lead them to a World Series? The core of this team has not put it together all season. And if they
finally, somebody with intelligence around here.
No, you just like kissing his ass. You want some chapstick?
Well, first part. All right. Outside of last night, I mean, Kyle Schwarber over the last week or so has been doing great.
Matty wants the top 5 guys in this lineup to be all swinging all at the same time. That's not going to happen.
Well, it's not even just that. I mean, when the team was streaking up until last night, right? Trey Turner was doing really well. Kyle Schwarber was killing the ball. Bryce Harper was doing well despite his injuries.
Castellanos
is doing well.
I mean, they're all doing well.
Outside of last night, that's what's going on.
There's your core guys right there, Matty. I mean, come on. You just kind of throw pickle in a jar.
Oh. Stott and Marsh are snapping out of it.
That's another guy too. We didn't even bring up Marsh. Marsh is actually starting to play well, even though
what led this team deep into the playoffs is the fact that you're getting contributions up and down the board. I'm not sitting there and telling you they can't do it if Harper and Trey and
Bohm and Schwarber ain't
hitting. I'm not saying that. But if the other guys are producing, then it's deadly. That's what any good team does. When you're getting production from your 6, 7, 8 hole. I mean, it's what happens. And K1, the voice of don't tell him that. Don't tell him that.
Stop, K1, man.
You're
just boosting his ego.
His poor new wife's going to have to widen those doorways any more than they already are.
If
then you say it's right. Right, the 2024 World Series champion, Philadelphia.
Yes.
If they're playing like that, I believe so.
Speaking into existence, Matty B. Yeah. Speaking into existence.
Yeah,
listen, they're A5 and 57, tied with the Dodgers for that number 1 seed.
Yeah, and literally 3 weeks ago, they were they had the Brewers on their heels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, there is not many regular season games left in the Phillies. And there's playoff games are pretty much probably already sold out.
Hey, if you want to see the Mets, where do we go?
If you want to see the Mets, go to Pat's house. You want to go to in the stands and enjoy a game? We go to Sherry'sTickets.com. Be part of the action. Be there. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you go get those Phillies playoff tickets. They're gone. But if you don't want to pay huge fees to go there, you go to Sherry'sTickets.com. Great prices, no hidden fees. Go to Sherry'sTickets.com for all your sports, concert, theater needs, especially Phillies playoff tickets. And save yourself an additional 10% off by using that great promo code
EOP10.
That's right. EOP10 will save you 10% off at Sherry'sTickets.com.
Now, Pat.
Yes, sir.
Speaking about today's game, I'm going to be tuning in between flipping around the NFL because I really want to get a look at this kid, Seth Johnson.
Same.
He got picked up in the trade for Greg Soto. I want to see what this kid is about because he's had okay, I'll be the first one to do it, Matty. They're going to win the World Series. If they don't, then they don't. But I'm going to proclaim it.
And here's the thing: it's this is a BS take because I'll tell you why. There's currently 32 teams, or 30 teams, but only 16 teams make it to the playoffs, something like that. What is it?
Top 6,
top 12. I'm sorry. No, there's a third wild card spot, isn't there?
Yeah,
Division
No,
winner.
three. Yeah, 6. You're right.
12
So 6 teams.
What's wrong with you two?
Say exorbitant. So say exorbitant.
That's
Okay.
Pat.
I don't know. I think he was talking about me.
Hmm.
So 12 teams, you have a 1 in 12 chance of making the playoffs. So it's easy for you to say they're not going to go versus to say that they are going to go and win it all. So,
I'm going to proclaim it. They're
but
going to win the World Series.
But I'm also not. I'm not going to proclaim anything until it happens. I'm not going to proclaim that. But I'm also not going to proclaim that they're out of it. If this team sucks, I'm not going to proclaim.
Oh, I know.
Top of the lineup is not hitting at all. I'm not going to proclaim anything. I'm proclaiming that this team is poised. It must be the water. Poised for a World Series.
It must be the water.
And anything less of a World Series is a bust. I will put it right out there. Right now.
Well, that's all I want to hear because that's what this team is.
Hold on, time out. The water must be different in Mayfair because you got Matty acting like the Titanic's going down, and then you got Pat like with saddle sores from jumping on and off the bandwagon. Like it's got to be the water from up there. The water, I said. I said it right. Water.
No, but I'm just. I mean, you guys are just looking like the Mets won't have a chance against this Phillies team. The Mets are going to give this team a run.
Muffler Mike. Make sure you guys check Muffler Mike out along with Gary and Sean and, of course, Pat tonight all across all the time.
You got enough Pat yet this morning.
Yeah, if you didn't have enough Pat today, man.
Yeah. Pat, we got
Are you doing the Eagles post game too?
Oh, I'm trying to do that too. But no.
Dude, his wife is
he's
you're going to be divorced.
We already got that locked up.
Yeah.
But talking about today, I really do. I'm going to see Seth Johnson. I'm going to see how this kid
So my question is, why is this? Everyone, I guess, because is it the Fitz giving the Marlins giving this team fish? If the Fitz, is why it's looked at like it's a big accomplishment. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, give me a contender. I mean, like you said, you took care of the. You're good against the Dodgers, and you're good against the Brewers. I'm not worried about that.
Pat, they're about
the Diamondbacks. It's the little. It's the teams in the wild card hunt that scare me. That's we've been there. We've been the hungry. Now I feel like we are the hunted. We are the team to beat in the NL.
Of course we are. We are the number one team.
And listen, and you saw it last year. Diamondbacks has our number. Now the Mets catching fire. It scares me. The Mets have been notorious having our number.
You got to pump the brakes, but they have our number.
They do. Look at the history.
They went 3-4 out of 7 games against them.
This team is getting red hot. You guys.
Pump your brakes there because you know what? They've cooled off.
Who?
The Diamondbacks. Remember, they were ahead of San Diego in the wild card standings.
Yeah,
they dropped back.
I'm not worried about that.
The Dodgers just went there and smoked them.
Yeah, but I'm talking about us. I'm not worried about the Dodgers. I'm not worried about.
Pat,
I'm worried about
the
Phillies
overall
versus Diamondbacks.
But you don't worry about Phillies versus Diamondbacks because it ain't Phillies versus Diamondbacks.
What about the Padres?
Huh? The Padres, we could take care of them.
But the Padres are spanking the.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. We don't have. We have the Padres.
Wait. So pick a side of your mouth and speak out of it.
Yeah, because you're all over the place.
Because here's my thing: is in your eyes, the Braves are now. So right now, here's your current wild card standings. You got Padres at number 1 spot, Diamondbacks at number 2 spot, and the Mets are the number 3 spot.
Those two teams
with the Braves staring in there.
Well, good. Your nerves should be calm after this next week because they play the Braves 7 times, and guess what? And it kind of starts.
Braves are starting to fade in the distance there.
Well, they're fading because half their teams are out. So, I mean, but if you look at it, they got the Marlins today. Then they got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You got 3 with Tampa.
Whose schedule are you looking at?
What's that? This is the Phillies.
Okay.
They have 3 with Tampa. Then they got the Mets here this weekend. Then when they're done the Mets, they go play Milwaukee, the Brewers for 3. And then they have the Mets for 4.
Yeah, that's going to be scary. Yeah,
right. No, get a dog. I keep telling you. I'm telling you.
Look who it is. I said his name earlier. Patrick Doom and Gloom. The fish is always causing the nightmares. Right. I get it, Jeff. I get that.
I mean, again, I don't always go by that, but Nola has been notoriously not great in Miami. But that doesn't mean anything. I mean, sometimes it gets in their head. Guys like that gets in their head when they start to know these things.
You know what, Mike? I agree with you with this, with him not giving Abel and McGarry a call up. But I think, to be honest with you, I don't think they want to bring those guys up yet. I think they want to give them a shot right out of the gate in spring training. I don't think they want to bring them up in this. I don't know why.
I don't understand why.
I don't understand why either, especially Mick Abel.
Unless they want to play with their new toys because, Seth Johnson they got that in that trade for Soto.
Right,
so.
and they just want to see what they have in him, so they're throwing him up. I mean, the kid's supposed to got really good stuff. Gobbler gobbles do lots of unnecessary stress. I don't know, but
we're
you're
getting
going to
there, K1, because the program needs
more
Eagles talk.
We're getting right there,
Yeah, we're about to dive into that.
We're about to dive right into that. So, Pat, before we get one last thing about this Phillies game today, Seth Johnson going today. What do you see? You got the Phillies winning, or do you have them? Do you have them split in this series too?
No. I think the Phillies will bounce back. I think today's going to be a revenge tour for the offense. I think it's going to be maybe a Nick Castellanos day. I'm feeling. Oh no, Bryson Stott. I think he's going to keep on rolling hot. He's got 7 hits already. He's got that second Decker home run he had on Thursday. I think he continues to roll. I think, like you said, the bottom part of the lineup is going to come through for this team. Rojas is going to continue his streak. So yeah, give me a 5-2 win. Phillies.
5-2 win. All right. What about
Oh, look at this! Look at that big head. I know that's my brother. I love Chuck.
Yeah, I agree with Pat. It's not unreasonable to consider that the Phillies struggles against the Mets usually. However, I'm confident in how the Phillies are playing. They're not struggling with the Mets this year, Chuck. I have to reiterate this. They're 4-2 against the Mets. They're 4-2.
But, us Bernards, we look at things different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, hold on. I just don't know which one's the smarter Bernard, you or Chuck.
That's a question.
Like which one's the biggest ant in this case? Like,
yeah. Well, that question will always be remained. But yeah, I mean, listen.
I'm liking the Phillies today too. But I'm thinking it's more of a Brandon Marsh day. Brandon Marsh and Weston Wilson. Team said you guys need a breather.
Woo.
We're good. You ready to talk some foosball, Patrick?
Oh,
you ready to talk some foosball?
Let's talk about birds. I love talking birds.
Oh, come on, dude. You're lucky I'm out of coffee. You're lucky I'm out of coffee. Jesus.
So listen.
Take the wheel.
Listen, Mike. Big win on Friday. However, if you listen to the Eagles postgame show with Dyes and Rod Lange and our go-to man Ryan Reeves, you would think Shane Halfham, excuse me. You would think this was a loss. They were not too happy with Jalen Hurts' performance. So, Mike, I'm going to go to you. How do you feel?
Jalen's got some stuff to clean up from Friday night. My thing is, I'm going to ask our
audience.
No, I'm going to ask our crew that did post game for that show. What else were you guys expecting? I mean, for the Eagles not playing in any preseason, none of the starters played.
Yeah,
think about that.
That showed.
That showed. It really did. But look at the end result. They still put up 34 points on a very good Packers team. A very good Packers team. I'm sorry, but I feel like once they get this cleaned up, and I wrote this in my notes, I said this offense is going to be scary. Think about it, dude. Jahan Dotson wasn't even a part of their offense the other night.
I had a C-, Mike, for Jalen.
I had about a C for him.
I C-, and that was only because he did a better job at the end of the game. If it looked like that all game, there was a lot of times that Lady Luck was on Jalen's side. There was about 2 picks that weren't picked.
I'll tell you what.
On him, so
I'll tell you what. The one, let's hear the Homer wrap up of the Birds game. It's not a Homer wrap up. One thing I'm going to say is, I felt like Quinyon Mitchell.
All right.
Quinyon Mitchell. I thought he looked very good in his. Are we trading Pickett to the Packers? It all depends on what's going on there with Jordan Love and how long he's going to be out.
He's out for 3 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Strained MCL.
So, like I said, I thought Quinyon Mitchell looked good. His assignment most of the night was on Romeo Dobbs, and Dobbs had a pretty good first half. Quinyon Mitchell kind of took him out of the game in the second half. They really didn't do that. The one thing that I'm looking at, and I know, Al, you're probably going to touch on this, is the defensive line, the edge rushers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we got
2 sacks.
Well, no, he's linebacker.
But I mean, he came off the edge.
Right, he came off the edge to get those sacks, but he's the linebacker. He's not an edge rusher.
Right.
Our edge rushers.
Did they put him in there because the other rushers?
Bryce, I'm sorry, Josh Sweat. Either you want to be here or play here, or you don't. Like, my man was like, did he even get any pressures? Bryce Huff, my first impressions to him was he looked like a football player on ice skates. My man was sucking up more dirt than a vacuum. Like, he was on the ground every time I turned around. I will say this, though. The big guy, the big fella, Jordan Davis. and Jalen Carter, they were doing their thing. And if you watch that game, Jordan Davis, between him and Jalen Carter, when they were both in there, this is why I don't understand how our edge rushers didn't get any pressure, because those guys were getting double teamed all game long. Jordan Davis even got triple teamed at one point in that game. So, I mean, I love the pressure that we were getting up the middle. Milton also was getting a good, strong push up the middle. I liked what I see. Baum had a great game. Zach Baum had a great game at that outside linebacker. Nakobe Dean was flying around a little bit. He said that field neutralized pass rush. It was a disgrace. Well, I don't know, man, because the Packers pass rush seemed to be getting to Jalen Hurts. I didn't see a lot of their defensive guys slipping. Rashawn Gary was all over the place down there. It just seemed like our guys didn't know how to adjust to that field.
Right. And again, there was a lot of slip and slides. I mean, like you said, the Birds start the game really sloppy with the pick and the miscommunication between Jurgens and Hurts. But again, I mean, for the defense to hold it only to 6 points, granted, they gave up 24 in the end. So, I mean, people are going to look at that as to be a little bit of an issue. The run defense, to me, didn't look that great.
Well, let's do this real quick because I want to get an ad in here real quick, and I want to get your guys' opinions on something about this game. Guys, remember we talk about Eagles. We're going to talk about this guy who put on a clinic on Friday night, guys. Because get used to it. PM and the AM doing a post breakdown of a game 2 days ago on a Sunday morning is not something often that you're going to hear, but here it is. But Saquon will return to New York or New Jersey, however you want to look at it, on October 20th, and you can go there as well with the boys and of EOP as well as Philly Sports Strips. That's right. Go to PhillySportsStrips.com. Log on now. Get up to great prices, by the way, for what you pay for a good ticket at the link. I'm going to say the vet at the link, and maybe parking. You can get all that and more, plus your bus, plus your food, plus your drink, in an amazing time. And sign up for the Edge and put your Edge affiliate at the bottom there, or EOP or something, so you can get on the bus with us. And then that way, there'll be some extra additives to be on our bus as well. So it'll be worth your friggin' while to be with EOP that day.
Yeah, so if you want to come join myself, maybe Pat, maybe Al. I don't know if Al, I think Al's, I'm definitely going on this. So definitely make sure it's, like Al said, it's definitely worth the price of admission.
Yeah, it is. And so going on, and if you can't make that game, they have all the other away games and more. They have some Flyers games they just put up there.
Nice.
And they even have some baseball games for West Coast trips in early to mid 2025. So check it out. Go to PhillySportsTrips.com. All right, so let's do this because I wanted to kind of get your guys' opinion on some things here. I don't know why, but I do. Let's go. I want to go position by position here.
All right.
Let's start on the defense. Quarterback.
I thought they played a pretty solid game.
I'll agree with that. I'll give the cornerbacks decent.
I like what I saw from Quinyon. Kid looks like he could be the real deal if everything continues to trend that way.
Like I said, he went against Dobbs most of the night, and that's Green Bay's home run hitter. And Dobbs got a lot of targets early, but I felt like he did a good job.
Do you think the Eagles believe in screen pass or a reverse by a running back?
I believe you're going to start to see that.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends. I don't know anything about Kellen Moore to tell you that's true or not. Like, that's my point. Is we saw a little taste of Kellen Moore, but I can't really say what they believe in.
Did you see the splits on that out before we get back by position? Did you see the splits of when they ran motion and when they didn't?
Oh, yeah.
When they ran motion, Jalen
was on point. 75% or more, yeah.
He was on point, but when they didn't run motion, he was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 60 yards or something. Go ahead.
I'm not happy seeing Q Mitch in zone, but it's the Eagles and not Mitchell and not the Mitchells. I got you. All right, so safety position.
I'm going to give them a C, only because I think Breed had a good game.
Came up with that nice pick.
Sure.
CJ
he whiffed on that tackle. Whiffed on a couple tackles.
He went on a tirade apparently.
Well, too bad. Yeah, I mean, you can give it, but you better learn to take it too, because you missed it.
Avante Maddox.
Yeah, that's looking like a bad signing.
Well, I think Cooper DeJean's going to be he's going to be being in play a little bit more. But yes, how about the linebacker crew?
I give them a B. I think Nakobe Dean.
Nakobe Dean almost had a big pick six there.
He dropped it.
But
I'll tell you what, he was around the ball too. Like he was shedding tackles. He looked like he was starting to live up to the hype. And of course, Zach Baum had the game, dude. He had 15 tackles, 2 sacks.
Mm-hmm. Zach Baum was a playmaker.
And we were kind of looking at him as kind of like the like downgrade. Now, granted, this is overreaction. I think really after one game, I need more of a sample size. Plus, too, I didn't really see much of Trotter in this game. You didn't really see him that much, other than special teams. So to me, I didn't like the fact that they were dropping Bryce Huff in the coverage too, and Josh White. I don't know if you saw that.
That's unfortunately that's part of the Vic Fangio thing. He does drop guys back into coverage a lot.
Well, I saw,
and that was
I saw Huff trying to cover Josh Jacobs. I was like, man, if Jordan Love sees that, that's going to be.
And I think that was one of the reasons the Eagles were okay with moving on from Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, he didn't want to. Hassan just wants to rush the passer,
which I'm not against. I hate seeing edge rushers drop back.
Hey, look, BG got a couple picks. Remember when who was the guy that we had when Chip was here? We couldn't stand the guy. We couldn't wait to get him out of town. Bobby Davis, is that what his name was, or something like that?
I forget. I also don't want to see Maddox in the slot anymore. I want to see Ringo or Mitchell. Yeah, I think you're. I think you're going to get that. I think the Eagles saw enough. I wouldn't be surprised if Maddox comes out with some weird injury. What do you guys think? What do you guys think when you saw the missed snap during the game? What? Well, that to me is like
more Russell pre-trip.
Yeah,
pregame.
That's
preseason.
Words. Words, Pat. Words.
I'm thinking work.
Yeah, everybody at work, everybody who works where we work at, just looked and went, "Oh God, Pat."
They're saying
preseason.
They're saying Connor Barwin. Was it Connor Barwin, or were you saying Billy Davis?
Billy Davis.
Okay.
Billy Davis. Like he did that all the time. He would drop guy. He would always I think Brandon Graham had 2 interceptions that year. Mm-hmm. And Barwin had a nose for the ball. That dude was really, really good.
So since Jamie's asking the question, I'm going to quickly answer. Defensive line, I'm going to give the edge rushers a D, maybe. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you snap a bomb in there, is it bomb?
Yeah.
Was this Meet the Fockers?
Yeah.
But my point is the D line did okay. They put their pressure on there, but the defensive end either didn't take advantage of it, or they just I don't know what's going on with them. You spend a lot of money on Bryce Huff. I'm not happy with what I saw. Not going to say the guy's a bust or a bum just yet because one game. But it's also here's my thing is, and it kind of goes back to what Jamie's asking the question here. What did I think when they saw the missed snap? The first thing I assume, since we'll jump in it, we'll jump onto the O line. That is why preseason I think needs to be played a little more. What would we, if you're so afraid? Maybe I'm an old school guy, I mean, a knucklehead, whatever you want to call me. But what is one series or two series in the preseason going to cost you? If your guy gets hurt in that one, it's going to happen. I mean, we're going to think it's going to happen by week 2, 3, or 4.
Let me ask you a question. Right. What's the difference if he gets hurt, say, in, middle of August, or if he gets hurt in the middle of September?
Right.
What is the
August
difference?
You have time to come back from, depending on the injury.
Right. If he gets hurt then, you can actually move on and try to get somebody else in there to work to get ready for the season. If he gets hurt in the middle of September, now you're already in the season, and that person's going to have to – I think it's more of a detriment there. But I'll tell you what. To me, Al, I thought Mailata had a really good game. I thought Mailata had a really good game. I thought Lane had a very good game. Back then, mm-hmm. He worried me a little bit.
I don't know. He looked pretty good to me for the most part.
He began opening.
Landon Dickerson was pretty decent. He had a couple of miscues, but there was also they were sliding guys up, so it was like 2 choices, and whoever he didn't choose, he didn't choose, kind of 8. So they had to flex that a little bit. That was where
he kind of worried me a little bit. I think he got better as the game went on. But early on, he was a little bit of a worry. Of course, Cam was a little bit of a worry. But I think everything that we're talking about,
and I think people made a lot of
more than what
when they were it looked like they were yelling at each other on the sidelines.
Yeah.
They're talking. This is what I'm like. This is the conversation. What do you think? They talk quietly. They're in a loud stadium. They're going to yell.
Right.
Like everybody thinks he was like they were yelling at each other, like screaming, like they were mad.
No, they probably couldn't hear each other.
No, they were yelling, like they were like.
You can tell the difference
Right,
if somebody's mad at somebody and somebody trying to communicate.
He didn't give him the all like shake the head and like throw his hand at him situation. Like get lost, pal. Like it's like they were yelling because they couldn't hear each other because they even said the fans were a lot closer there than they're used to having them, and there was a lot of people in that stand hooting and hollering. I mean, it was loud in there. But and K1 says linebacker was surprising a strength. I don't want to say that one. I was going to say the one who said that was going to happen, but it happened.
Just be careful.
I mean, today it was. I'm not going to say this is going to be every game, but yeah, I call that. I want to see Malata in the backfield on the tush push or be an eligible receiver.
So do I.
And get a pass.
So
watch him just run over someone or catch the TD. That'd be cool, Mike. I mean, I don't think
I want to see that too. I want to see that too. Like that's something. And not sure who called it for the tush push at the end of the game, but you got to give it to Barkley and let him score. Well, listen, I agree with Chuck here a little bit. I think with that, but stop and think about it for a second. I think they got to do a better job trying to disguise that tush push now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can see it coming. And I'm sorry, they're not at the point now until Jergens gets more comfortable in doing it the way they did it with Kelsey. Until he gets comfortable with doing that, you got to have disguises for that. Like, I love the fact that they did it last year. Remember when they gave it to Swift and he ran off tackle? And they didn't see it coming? Like, they got to do stuff like that. If you're going to line up like that, I would have gave it to Barkley. I would have gave it, here, dude, get number 4. And speaking of Barkley,
yeah, we got to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it in a second. I was kind of leading up to
Are you
it.
going to lead? You going to lead?
I was leading into the.
I'm sorry. I jumped ahead.
Yeah. He got the muscle. I got the catch up. We're ready.
He says not sure to call the tush push, but
that's right.
I agree and I disagree. I mean, I can see it either way. The tush push, people are asking, well, is it because
I would have loved if they got. I would have loved if they got a tush push for a touchdown there because I had Hurts getting a touchdown in that game.
Billy Davis, worst DC excluding Juan Castillo.
Yes, he was, Mike.
Maybe I saw a different game, but Vaughn looked out of position, run overs times. I would like to have seen more.
No, he just went up against a really good. Yeah, sometimes you got to tip your cap, dude. Like Josh Jacobs said, is that dude. Like, if the Phillies didn't get, or the Phillies, I'm sorry, if the Eagles didn't get Saquon, that's who I wanted the Eagles to get was Josh Jacobs. That dude's a beast, man.
Looked like Jalen had some easy runs he turned down. I mean, I don't know. That might be part of the scheme. I mean, they kind of looked like that last year. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was a little.
Ron Jaworski said something after during their postgame. He said it looked like Jalen didn't keep his eyes downfield long enough. He said he started to look back. He went through his progression, and then it was down. Like he put his eyes down and was ready to take off. I personally didn't feel that way. I felt like he kind of gave every chance he could to get the ball out. I thought Dallas Goedert had a quietly good game.
Yeah, he had his moments. I mean,
he had his moments.
I don't think. I mean, how many targets he got?
I think he got like 4 targets, but I mean, he had a couple nice. I love the. I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but I loved when they brought Will Shipley in motion. They brought Will Shipley, and so they have Shipley and Saquon in the backfield at the same time. I loved it, man, when they brought him in motion. And they faked like they were going to do a little screen out to him, and Devontae Smith got right in the middle, got right on that in-between zone right there, and Jalen hit him with a nice pass. To me, this is why I'm really optimistic about this Eagles offense going forward. Think about this for a second. You had Saquon, who went over 130
years.
Well,
he had 4 for 5 for 31 yards.
Yeah, 31 yards. So, I mean, that's not bad. But, I mean, that'll get better because I think as the more defenses try to slow down Devontae, A.J. Brown. You had
one of them was for 21 yards.
Yeah, I mean, you had Saquon, who went for 132 all-purpose yards. I think it was 109 rushing and then 20-some yards. So he went for 132. You had A.J. Brown, who had over 100 yards catching. You had Devontae Smith, who I think was around 85 yards.
Yep.
Okay. So you take a look, just those 3 guys right there, you'll have almost 300 yards of offense. And this is what my biggest takeaway from the whole game was this. The Eagles, They got stuff they got to clean up, but they hung 34. That Packers defense is not is a pretty good defense. Matter of fact, they've upgraded that defense. You look at their secondary, dude. Jair Alexander's probably one of the best cornerbacks in football, and then they brought Xavier McKinney over from the Giants. So I mean, they got they got good linebackers. You know, they got good edge rushers. They got a stout defensive line. You know what I mean? So for you to put up, you know, what was it, the 34 points on that team, on that defense, can you imagine when they go against teams with a lesser defense than the Packers? I mean, it's going to be, you know, again, I think as this season goes, I think they just need to keep improving. And I think if the Eagles keep improving, like by the end of the season, they're going to be a team that nobody's going to want to play. And it's oddly enough, did you see Skip Bayless? Did you see what his prediction was for the Eagles this year?
No.
Skip.
Do I want to see it?
Right.
Yeah. He picked the Eagles to go 18-2 and win the Super Bowl. He said the Eagles are the best team in football.
All right.
And I looked at now that he said that, I looked and went, because, you know, it's the kiss of death. But I think it's a little reverse psychology there because, you know, he's the big Cowboy homer. So, but it was funny. I just looked. I was like 18-2. I was like, dude, I'm an Eagles fan, and I don't think we're going 18-2.
Well, we'll jump on it before we hit the receiving core because Steve puts it out. What up, fellas? Saquon's about to be a better season than CMC. Best season. I mean, listen, one game.
It's one game.
We can see how it goes, but my point is the sky looks like the limit here with Saquon. I mean,
I think
he got a hat trick.
Do you know what Friday night symbolized for me?
What's that?
The dark cloud that was over our heads last season,
and
it started to break apart. You could see sunlight.
Yeah, you know
that's what it symbolized to me. I'm like,
I will say I could see breaks of sunlight.
Let me ask you.
No, I said it started to break.
So let me ask you though, Mike, what's the big difference from the Brian Johnson playbook to the Kelly Moore? Because I mean,
more than 5 plays.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think Brian Johnson was the scapegoat in that. I think he wanted to do other things.
Well, they did say it was Nick Sirianni's.
It was Nick Sirianni's playbook, and it just goes to show you why they brought in Kellen Moore and pretty much told Nick Sirianni, "You're just going to oversee everything. You know, be the head coach."
Because I saw like a lot of dinks and dunks, but I mean, there was a couple of explosive plays.
I say fake the tush push, like fake kneeling and throw a pass. You could, Mike. You could.
I like Jalen
Milroe over Jalen Hurts. Be nice if Howie pulls the strings because you know how Philadelphia's a quarterback factory.
All right, we don't need it. Can we take a moment and thank Howie Roseman for signing Saquon? Yeah, actually, Matty B is he's writing the official letter for EOP.
Yeah,
as a thank you letter to Howie Roseman.
He should.
So, Al, are we ready for talk about Saquon?
We really are. Right.
All right. So, what do you? I mean, what a signing. I mean, because he was like you already mentioned. He had 109 yards rushing, had 3 TDs on the night. I mean, what a playmaker! What a playmaker! Just taking big gashes out of that Packers defense. Just run up north and south. I mean, I loved everything I saw from him. What do you have, Mike?
I'll tell you what. To me, I thought the most interesting. See, Pat, you got to remember, Saquon. I followed him. You know, he's a Penn State guy.
Right,
I'm a Penn State guy. So I watched him throughout college. I seen what he could do very early on. And let's give him his kudos too. When he was with the Giants, he was their offense. He was their offense up there for many years. And of course, you had some Giants fans that were kind of ticked off. But and my son, who is a Giants fan, I even said to him, my son literally turned around and goes, "Well, Dad, your team's got a better offensive line." He goes, "I'm not surprised he scored 3 touchdowns." He goes, "I will not be surprised," he said, "if he goes for 1,500 yards this year." He said, "Behind your offensive line," he goes, "he should go for 1,500. You know what I mean? He goes, "Your offensive line's way better than ours." He goes, but getting back to this game, you know what really impressed me was that catch, the very first touchdown.
Yeah.
That's what you're getting with Saquon Barkley in this offense. Boom.
Well, I mean,
the defense showed up heavy this year. Bond, we're going to be a problem this year. Offense need to keep improving. Rush beginning to show. All right, Nelson.
Well,
I kind of agree with you there, Nelson. I think it's the opposite way around. I think the defense will be very strong by the end of the year. I can see the defense getting better. as they go along.
Well, you know it's funny because
I mean, I hope it all improves. Let's call it for what it is. This team needs to continue to improve. We got a big win. Yeah, it was like a different soil, different area. Green Bay's a good team, but they are still coming off, a really good season. They're still everybody. You can't judge a team by week one.
Nah.
You just can't.
No, you got to look at it for what it was. It was a good win. They were able to beat a quality team in less than perfect conditions. I look at it like that. Now they have to worry. Look, they get a mini bye. They come home. They come home. They don't play again on Monday night. Atlanta plays at home today against Pittsburgh. I'm going to watch that game, see how Kirk Cousins and them look going into this because they got a revamped defense too. They went out and re-signed. Who was the guy? Who's the guy that they kept saying was coming here to free safety, but he never signed here? Justin Simmons. They just signed Justin. Yeah, so they have Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates. They're their two safeties down there. So they got a pretty good back end.
The last time Saquon Barkley put up 3 TDs in a game was back in November 18 of 2018.
It was his rookie year.
Rookie year against Green Bay, Tampa Bay. So
he loves playing people by the bay, apparently.
Yeah. So, but like I said, just a playmaker. Glad we're all happy for the signing. I wasn't expecting this kind of a night from him, especially on opening night. So again, I loved it. But like you say, you do have a Falcons team that's going to be coming up here next. Like you said, must watch going against Pittsburgh.
All right.
What's the matter? Okay, now I got to ask you about the quarterback play
of
Jalen.
Oh well, I wasn't right. We weren't done yet. I have another question for you.
Yeah, flop on top of me.
You started talking about
Saquon,
the Falcons, and I was like, I'll get there in a second. But receivers. Let's talk about the receivers for a second.
The two receivers had a good game because Jahan Dotson was nowhere to be found. Yeah. I've seen him on the field, but he was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, he had one target. He only had one target the whole game.
He only had one target. And that's a shame, too, because that's my other Penn State guy that I want to say.
But I wasn't surprised. I mean,
he's new.
And it's not even just he's new. He just got here and all this stuff. When you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Saquon Barkley on the field, you're going to you're going to get limited. All right, that's just the way it's going to be. A.J. Brown had 10 targets. He was 5 for 10. Devontae Smith was 7 for 8. And by the way, I think Steve said it earlier.
Yeah, he had it was his catch and yak afterwards that sealed that game.
He was my player of the game. He was my quiet player of the game because he was clutch. Yeah. I mean, that man placed 3 times his size.
The fourth down.
Watching him play, man.
That fourth down that he converted, I thought he got killed. He caught the ball and literally had 2 Packers coming from each end. And you were like, oh, man, here he goes. And and all of a sudden, I believe it was Noah Eagle was like, did he hold on to the ball? And I'm like, oh, please tell me he held on. And he did. But I was sitting there. I was like, oh, just watching that game. Like you said, dude, he plays bigger than what he is.
Saquon is exhibit A of why you never draft a running back until you have a good O-line. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what it is. As long as Saquon can stay healthy, he gets a better year than CMC last year.
See, a lot of people are comparing him with CMC. You got to stop doing that. Christian McCaffrey is really good in that offense because they tailor that offense around him. I think Barkley can be just as good as that, but you got to stop comparing the two.
Steve saying, I didn't think Maddox played badly. He had a size mismatch in the slot. Watson is going to win that battle 8 out of 10 times with CBs. He looks slow, man. That's my problem. He just
it seemed like Watson was getting open too much for my liking.
Right.
With him. I mean, if you think about it, if Jordan Love throws the right ball, man, boom. All I can say is training camp starts next week for the Flyers. That being said, go Birds. You know what? I'm looking forward to that too, Frankie.
Yes, I'll be down there.
We'll all be looking forward to
some
the puck getting dropped soon.
Yeah, can't wait.
So that leaves Jalen.
I say he had a C.
I'm going C. I was going to say D plus, but C minus just because he did get a lot better at the end. But there is about 2 times that the football guys blessed him without having a pick. He almost threw a pick at the end of the game there. And there was another big one. I think it was either the beginning of the second half or the end of the first half. I forget. That he really could have changed the tide. I mean, they really should have got that touchdown, and that should have been like less nerve-wracking at the end. So the red zone is a little bit much for me. And I thought Love gift wrapped the game for the Eagles, to be honest. I don't know if people. Here's my thing: is people are saying, "Well, look at he was like 17 for 34." I think. Well, let me pull up his exact stats right now. He was 17 for 34, 260 yards, 2 TDs, and an interception.
It was
a lot of people give the defense a lot of credit for this. There was a couple balls that were dropped. I don't have that stat in front of me. There was a couple key balls that were the guy was wide open and it was dropped. But give the defense a little love where the love is right now. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Love gift wrapped the game from anywhere. I mean, he had some big plays, but
he did. I mean, listen, he was driving too. Again, this was like Mike was saying, this is kind of like the mirror match for Jalen. It was Jordan Love. Again, everyone knows what Jordan Love is capable of. I mean, he's a playmaker. He's a premier quarterback in the league. And listen, they got themselves an upcoming team. But, listen, the Birds hung out. Unfortunately, it sucks that Jordan Love got hurt, but
they hung out.
Yeah. They hung around.
Sounds like Pat's night on a Tuesday.
20 completions for Jalen Hurts, 278 yards. I mean, 2 TDs, and I'll give it a C-.
That's why I gave him a C- just because of the 2 interceptions
and the ball he threw to Saquon, that touchdown pass. Both of them got a lot of love for me on that one. It was a good ball. It was a good catch from a running back.
And the way he got his feet down for that too.
That was all around a really great play from both of those guys.
I'll tell you what. He also threw a nice pass to AJ too.
Oh yeah,
on AJ's touchdown. That was like, to me, he showed glimpses of the 2022 Jalen Hurts. He showed glimpses of that, but he also
definitely see there's a lot more conversation that needs to be had between him and his O-line.
Right.
That's one thing, but Jalen's got to stop playing hero ball. That is my key factor. There's plenty of times in there. There's that touchdown. The interception he threw when it was supposed to be in the red zone. They could have took 3 points. Instead of he tried to thread the needle. He paid for it big time. He should have threw that thing 20 yards over the guy's head, kicked the 3 points. That way we would have been up like 8 points at that point. So it would have been a non-factor. There was throws where there was moments where he flat out looked like 2022, and then there's plenty of times that he looked like 2023.
You're right. There's some poor decisions he was making.
Right. That's why I said the best grade I think he could possibly get from us today the highest should be a C. And I gave him the highest one. And now that's not to say, he said sloppy game, shitty field, ton of penalties and mistakes. We still won.
You know what? I want to say that too.
You know what? I thought they were kind of disciplined. Like the Eagles didn't have as many calls on them as the Packers did.
That's where I want to go to. I think Green Bay shot themselves in the foot. They had, I think, close to 100 yards.
Yeah, 15. They had 15 penalties. And I got to give the Eagles credit. You know what else too? The Eagles didn't. I think they got called for it once. Was that new rule with the tackles now? Al, did you see that? The one that they were calling all night, Thursday night? Mm-hmm. I think, was it Ronnie Stanley of the Ravens got called 5 times?
They had 10. We had 7 penalties.
Right. We ended up with 7. Mm-hmm. Okay. But, I thought they were disciplined enough. Like I said, they only got it the one time. I think Lane got it.
Listen, I understand the sloppy game and the crappy field and all that stuff. I get it. But again, both teams played on the same field.
The Packers look like they knew how to play on that field. The Eagles didn't. Like I said, it reminded me of the Kansas City Super Bowl 2 years ago, where our guys were just slipping all over the place. Like I said, Bryce Huff, my man,
Well, you saw their team. They were working on cleats while the game was going on for the Green Bay Packers. And look at the Packers though. Especially in that beginning half, that first half, every time that they were in the red zone, they were hurting themselves with the penalties. And the defense stepped up for the Birds. Like I said, those 2 turnovers by the Birds the Packers could have easily went up 14-0. But look, they only settled for 2 field goals, so I'll take it.
Steve saying there's 4 to 5 throws he flat out missed the open wide receivers and had this 2023 earmarkings. but it was good to see the 2022 earmarkings on the final drive. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there was one spot on that final drive that he got lucky. He threw it off to the sideline. I don't know who it was. I'm trying to remember who it was to. I think it was Dotson. I think it was Jahad Dotson. That was the one target. And he
is that the one Jair Alexander broke on and dropped it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you got to be careful. You got to be mindset too of where you're going to attack too. Jair Alexander's got paid because he's one of the best. He's one of the best. Corners.
I
in the
get
NFL.
it, but that you got to be smart about that. You got to see where the guy is.
Like that's the kind of guy you kind of, unless it's AJ Brown, you kind of stay away from. You know what I mean?
It's again, it goes back to the hero ball. Stop, be smart, throw the ball away. Don't worry about your stats. Don't worry about scoring a touchdown. I think we keep saying we want to see that 2022 Jalen so much that he's trying to forcibly recreate that.
You're right, right. And
I think as we go a little further in the season, I think he's going to get more and more comfortable with. I think he's going to get more and more comfortable with Kellen's system.
And I think Steve's absolutely right, because when you get hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or criminal law, you do need to call David R. Cherry. Steve, David R. Cherry, 610-565-0300. Again, work injuries, motor vehicle accidents, personal injuries, criminal law. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com or call David R. Cherry at 610-565-0300 for all your legal needs.
All right, guys. So, what's your final takeaways from this home opener? I'm sorry. Home opener in Brazil.
Yeah.
No, I mean, even though it's a win, it feels like a loss because of all a couple of the things that need, like you said, Mike, that need to be worked on. I think as the season will come on, they will foul them out. And listen, take it. A win's a win. I know it sounds cliche, but look, I'd rather start 1-0 than 0-1. Get ready to come back home and face a Falcons team who's looking to make some noise.
What about you, Al? What's your final takeaway?
Final takeaway is it definitely looks like this future can be bright for the Eagles if they continue to excel, they continue to evolve. As we watch the offense evolve, we watch the defense evolve. My other takeaways pretty much fall into, I hope we're going to start seeing more from some of those defensive ends, and I'm not sitting there expecting to see the sack production of 2022, but I would have thought I would have seen a little bit more, and not just from Zach Baum.
And Al, I think you're right. I think that Jalen Hurts is pressuring himself to be the 2020 Eagles MVP or MVP of the league quarterback, and I think it's in the long run it can cost him trying to extend plays and make mistakes while trying to do that.
Well, my takeaway from Friday night's game is it was a great introduction for Saquon Barkley to our fan base. I felt like he was able to basically go out there and do. You finally got to see what Saquon looks like behind a real offensive line. Again, my other takeaway was I still think A.J. Brown is still one of the best wide receivers in this league. Okay, he went against Jair Alexander most of the night, and I'll tell you what, he bullied him. He bullied Jair for most of the night. That's number two. My other takeaways were now defensive side. Loved what I call them the Georgia Triangle right there, which was the two Bulldogs up front, Carter and Davis, and then Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean had a quietly good night. Zach Baum, again, he got all the notoriety, 15 tackles, 2 sacks. He was all over the place. But my last takeaway from the defense is I loved what Quinyon Mitchell did. Quinyon Mitchell had a really good game. And like I said, he went up against, the Packers speed burner in Romeo Doubs. And like I said, Dobbs got his yardage in the first half. I think he had like 30 yards in the first half. He only finished up with like 42 or 46 or something like that. So, he only had like 1 or 2 catches in the whole second half. And Quinyon Mitchell's that kid, man. He broke it up. He broke that pass play up on the, when they got the turnover, they decided to pick on him. Again, I feel like if the offense scored 34 points and we basically for the last 20 minutes or half hour, we just broke down everything that we saw wrong, and they still put up 34 points.
That's Mike, and that's a great spot. I mean, we're going to complain about the defense giving up 24, but for your offense to put up 34
on this defense, the Packers got a really, really good defense.
That's solid work.
And that's solid. You're right. It is solid. So just imagine when they do get it cleaned up, And
I mean, we do have Kirk Cousins coming in prime time soon, so better beware.
But I'll tell you what, though, I'm going to be honest with you. Kirk Cousins got some weapons down there, though. He's got a wide receiver. He's
had Justin Jefferson.
That's all right, but that's all they
had. Adam Thielen at one point. He had a good offensive line at one point. Yeah. He had a stellar defense at one point.
But he didn't have a good running back going along with him. So when you know somebody's going to pass all the time,
they got
two legit running backs down there. They got Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. Like the Falcons, I'm not sleeping on them, dude. Like I picked them to win the South.
I'm not sleeping on. Well, picking somebody to win the South, I'll pick you to win the South, Mike Lauro. Like that's how I look at it.
Oh, you want me to grow a Colonel Sanders mustache?
Yeah, there you go. South will rise again. But no, it's my point is, I'm not looking past Kirk Cousins or the Falcons, but I'm at the same time. It's Kirk Cousins, and everybody gets back to like. They tell me I'm nuts for thinking this, but look at him in prime time.
All right, yeah,
look at his numbers. Listen, he's played the Eagles. That'll be 3 years in a row,
and he had a really good game last year. He had a really, really good game last year against the Eagles.
I believe the Eagles had a better one.
Yes. No, they did, but I'm just saying he wasn't the reason why they lost that game last year. I mean, I don't like Kirk Cousins.
Mike's a Kirk Cousins fan.
I'm not. I'm just over.
How about that?
How
about that?
How about that?
How about that?
But anyway,
he's literally one of the best wide receivers in the whole league, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
You're right.
So, but anyways, look.
Can we just? Yeah. I just want to give two little
picks. Pick.
Hold on, two little shout outs real quick. Shout out to James Franklin for not blowing the lead at home and actually getting a win. And shout out to Northern Illinois for going into South Bend and beating the Irish yesterday. And I'm not taking a shot at Irish fans, but anytime if my Penn State, if Nittany Lions would have got, if they would have got upset yesterday by Bowling Green, I would have came on here and congratulated Bowling Green because there's no better thing in college football is when a predominantly powerhouse team gets upset. So, I mean, you saw it yesterday, too.
If you guys are home, please do check in all your Irish friends.
Yes,
somebody tell them that their French school lost.
Yeah, I mean, that was wrong. And I'm going to toot my own horn, but toot. I went 3-1 yesterday on my picks. You guys saw it. We put them up.
What's that, your college?
My college, I'm 4-4 after 2 weeks. So
500.
Yeah, I was 1-3 last week. This week, Michigan was the only one that got me. I believed in the hype that they couldn't be beaten in Ann Arbor, and they got beat like a drum. So I'm not sold on that Michigan team. I don't even think they could beat. Heck with beating Ohio State. I don't think they could beat like Children of the Poor State. They're bad. They're a bad team. I don't know who elected them number 10 in the nation. But
they did win, I guess. Last year, gave them a little.
Well, yeah, they're the champions. But I'll give you my quick four. As we did put up, we'll be heading into the Rich Rod years. Yes, you're exactly right. Can't wait for that. Penn State owes them a few beatings. Guys, I put up my weekly four. I'm going to give them to you just real quick right here. I took the Bears today, -4.5 over Tennessee. I took Cincinnati -9 over New England. I got Detroit -3.5 tonight against those Rams. My upset of the week, that's right, I'm taking the New York Football Jets Monday Night Football against the 49ers. I'm taking the Jets plus the 5.5. Guys, these are for entertainment purposes only. If you do have shillings and want to put down on those games, good luck. And I did, if you check Edge of Philly Sports and my Facebook page and Twitter, whatever your favorite matchup is, put down what you guys are laying shekels on, and we'll get back and we'll wrap, guys.
All right. Well, listen, before we get out of here, of course, guys, stay with us next week. Huge anniversary show of the program, PM and the AM, 6 years. So we have a lot of.
I can see why they call you the Gobbler now.
Why is that?
Because you sound like a turkey when you say program.
Well, I sound like a rooster in other places. But anyway.
Wow. Take it home, Jesus. Take it home.
Yeah, again, next week we're going to kick off the attack in third with the beat reporter from New York, Scott Churchson. He's going to kick it on with me and Steve. And, of course, next week here, we have three major guests. We have Jordan Hall from NBC Sports that covers Philadelphia Flyers. We have Mike's favorite guest, Mike Pogler.
Oh, I can't wait for Mike to come on, man.
And
I'm still going to tell him James Franklin sucks.
Well, yeah, that's a great master debate, as always. And, of course, guys, you guys have been asking for it. Me and him been going, there he is, Paul Day, the Philadelphia Wings general manager. Yes, he will be on the show as well.
You better not make him cry.
No. Everyone's been calling me a bully. People have been asking him to come on the show. I touch base with him.
Will this be brought up? I just want to know. Will this?
Oh, you damn right it's going to be brought up. I'm instigating it. I'm going to be the first one to apologize to Paul for his knucklehead.
So again, Paul Day, the general manager, stepped down as head coach, but yes, the general manager of the Philadelphia Wings will be on the show. So guys, huge show next week. Can't wait, guys. Stay tuned. We have the Fighting Finals with. Who's on today?
That's Al.
Al, Big Al.
Hey.
He'll be here, and of course, the all across all the time. We'll have you at
Party on Broad too. We'll have
Party on Broad. We have this is Edge of Philly Sports has become like the Spice Network. We just never run out of action.
It's all scrambled.
Yes.
It's all scrambled like Pat's brain.
Yes. I am blurry. So guys, have a great afternoon, and
for Al Safiri, the macho.
The nacho man.
Yeah, the nacho gobbler. Pat Bernard, I'm Mike Laura. We'll see you next week.